You sprung forward, eyes awake with alarm. Your mind struggled to catch up with your body, phantom sensations still lingering on your skin. Static senses of vibrant blue flames scorched into your brain as heavy breaths died down into a slightly more regulated rhythm. This was the 5th time this week. It's been 2 full months since the training camp. 2 full months since you moved into the dorms, and you still weren't over it yet. The nightmares just wouldn't stop. You plopped back down on your mattress, exasperated, and thoroughly annoyed at having your precious slumber cut short again. Honestly, for such a prestigious school, UA has probably the worst counseling system you've ever seen. Or haven't seen, because despite several of your classmates showing painfully obvious signs of trauma, the school staff has barely stepped in. You huffed in the administration's incompetence, turning your side glare to nothing in particular. A ping interrupted your train of thought, drawing your attention to the device laying on your nightstand. You snatch your phone, unlocking it and immediately squinting at the brightness before checking the time. 3 in the morning. Who the hell would be texting you at ass o'clock in the morning? You know who. Pika pika, image, image, image. Some memes for when you wake up. You. They're called memes. Pika pika. You're awake? You. No. The message was left unseen, though the interface of the messaging was replaced by that of an incoming call. You rolled your eyes, though a slight smile stretched your tired features at the picture of you and Kaminari grinning at the camera. You accepted the call. Why are you up? His voice came through mildly distorted, but still as loud as ever. Too loud for 3 in the fucking morning. Can't sleep. Your answer was slightly muffled by a yawn, betraying just how exhausted you were. The silence that preceded was deafening, neither of you uttering a word, but you could faintly hear his breathing. It was oddly calming. You sigh, lids blinking to fight off your drowsiness. You're still having nightmares? The words tinged with worry. His voice was much quieter now, gentler. If anything, Kaminari was a great friend. He'd proven that to you time and time again. He was the only one that could tell that you were drowning in hushed misery, seeing through your well-constructed front like it was second nature for him. For someone so outstandingly moronic, he was extremely socially intelligent, and even observant when he wanted to be. And for the umpteenth time, he's showing you just how easily he could pick up on the small traces of discomfort in your voice, the slight plea left unspoken from your lips. Yeah. The reply didn't come out as resolute as you wished it had been, but it couldn't be helped. No matter how hard you willed yourself to level your tone in hopes of fending off his concerns, you knew it would all crumble at some point. Go figure, your strong facade would fall apart in front of him. It's always been him. For some reason unknown to you yet, confiding in him just felt right, secure. More silence ensued. Denki was a natural at detecting people's emotions, but that's as far as his expertise would go. Sure, he knew how to encourage others. Pushing them past their insecurities was always as easy as breathing to him. With bright golden hues and obnoxiously dorky grin, all he had to do was utter a few optimistic words and that would get the job done. But comfort, vulnerability, that was so far beyond the shallow waters he'd grown accustomed to. Sentimentalities weren't really his thing. He simply didn't possess the wisdom and eloquence needed to deal with such situations. His immediate reaction would be to crack a joke, fruitless attempts at lightening the mood, but he knew there was a time and place for jests, and this wasn't one of them. Awkwardness and half-hearted jabs were immediate reaction, because that's how he dealt with his own problems too. Hey, can I come over? We can play Animal Crossing or something. You sure as shit wouldn't be able to sleep tonight. Not in this state. You needed a distraction. A friend. What if we get caught? Would you even care if we got caught? A light chuckle. No. Exactly. I'll be there in a bit. The line went dead. He stared at the blank screen of his phone before flopping onto his back. Why'd you be so open with him, out of all people, when he saw just how uneasy you were around his other classmates? He didn't know. The list of people he thought were more deserving of your trust was almost unending, and he wasn't even close to the top of it. One thought brought forward another, each one getting more progressively deprecative, and the sloppy stone patch over his self-doubt started to tear, ripped off its poorly embedded stitches. He was confident in himself until he joined Class 1A, that is. He just felt there compared to his peers. His body was nothing to laugh at, but his build was still considerably lean compared to the people he was around. The fact that such a talented, hard-working girl had taken interest in him was frankly baffling. He wasn't as flashy as Todoroki, or as powerful as Bakugo, or as brainy as Midoriya. He was just him. Lackluster, average him. It only added insult to injury when he'd witnessed how they looked at you. They pined for you, and he couldn't blame them. He craved you too. But God, the nagging thought you were wasting your time hanging around someone like him, that he was stealing you away from people who were, in his opinion, glaringly more worthy of cherishing you than him, it just wouldn't go away. You had so many stronger, smarter, better options out there that he couldn't help but be reminded of how lacking, inadequate he was compared to seemingly everyone else, and yet you chose to get close to him. In a superhuman class full of the brim with prodigies and workaholics, you picked him. It didn't make the slightest bit of sense. He was fished into reality and away from the sea of self-doubt when he heard 3 consecutive knocks on his door. Just how long had he been wallowing there? The door creaked open, and you were greeted with the glorious sight of Kaminari in a Pikachu onesie, a ruffled, adorable tuft of electric blonde hair peeking from under the hood. You snorted. Nice PJs. Denki blinked, looking down only to realize that he hadn't changed out of the onesie because he was overthinking. An embarrassed chuckle escaped him as he stretched at the side of his cheek, a lopsided smile and cherry tint creeping up on his complexion. What can I say? I always have to be on brand. You loved that about him. He seemed so laid back, uncaring, willing to roll with whatever punches were thrown at him, playing off jocular comments and rude insults alike with practiced ease. Giggling past him, you situated on his bed, ready to forget about your nightmares and just have fun with a friend. If Denki was a genius at anything, it was having fun. Hours flew by at the pace of minutes. It was now 6 a.m. The sun had begun to show its yellow glow, and you'd spent the entirety of dawn kicking Kaminari's butt at Mario Kart, sharing laughs and fleeting touches. He liked this. You liked this. Despite knowing that he wasn't by any means the best suitor for you, he couldn't halt the need to monopolize you. How could he, when your very presence, unbeknownst to you, shoved his insecurities unceremoniously into the back seat in favor of enjoying a moment with you? He hadn't a clue how you did it, but you always managed to shoo away his doubts just by being there, and selfishly couldn't and wouldn't let go of that. You immersed him in riveting adventures of the now, miles and acres away from the overbearing thoughts, all without even trying, without even knowing it. It was the weekend, thank fuck, and sleeping in sounded like heaven on earth right now. If it weren't for your nightmares, the fear of recounting the horrid memories in horrific detail again barred your eyes from sleep, regardless of how spent you were. Apparently, Denki's spidey friendship senses kicked in again, because he immediately noticed the apprehension on your face, the stiffness in your movements as you were preparing to leave. He knew exactly what was up with you, and he couldn't leave you like that. It would eat at him for days. He grabbed your wrist as you turned for the door. Do you want to stay? Maybe it was your exhausted mind finally turning into mush, or maybe it was the softness of his voice. The docile concern in his eyes made you agree on staying. Your compliance surprised you both, honestly. You were both very aware that you wouldn't have accepted the offer if it had been anyone else. But, in retrospect, it all seemed rational. After all, throughout the whole night, not did you once think back onto the horrors that would visit you in the sleep again. Not once did you feel the crippling anxiety of crawling at the frayed edges of your psyche. Instead, you felt secure, sound, safe. and you came to an epiphany. Maybe it wasn't the idea of sleep that scared you. Maybe it was the impending loneliness, isolation, and uncertainty that you often experience without him. Yes. And you laid there, facing each other, a considerable amount of distance between you. No words exchanged, yet you could tell that there was a lot on his mind. He decided to voice it all in one question. He knew you were smart enough to catch on the underlining self-doubt in his vaguely worded inquiry. Whether you pointed it out or not was entirely up to you. Why did you say yes to me? The articulation caught you off guard. You'd never seen him so insecure before. Your mind raced with different possible implications behind the wording, though you decided to quell them all with one single sentence. You smiled, soft and lazy, moving closer to seek some of his warmth. You make me feel safe, Denki. And he really did. Even though you came to a revelation mere minutes ago, you accepted it swimmingly. It felt right to do so. It startled you how ready you were to embrace the newfound feelings, but you wouldn't have it any other way. Kaminari was stunned, to say the least. He hadn't expected the response from you, and honestly still and couldn't really rationalize it completely either. But for now, the budding feeling in his heart trumped over the ever-present uncertainty, and he wouldn't have it any other way. Hello, everyone! Okay, real quick story for you. I recorded this whole video yesterday, but it deleted, and I don't know why. So I was making the thumbnail for this video, and I was replaying it, the audio, because I want to make sure there's no weird audio glitches inside of that. But I guess when I came back, I hit the trim button, and it only left 15 seconds of the audio I recorded yesterday. And if you've seen my Instagram, you know what happened. It deleted, and I was absolutely furious because it was a really good recording, and I was so proud of it. I was so ready to release it yesterday. I was like, yes, let's release it. There was supposed to be a different video today, and I understand it's very late today, and I'll be posting this very late today, but you know what? I'm too tired for this right now. Thank you for the people who did join my Discord. We've had a lot of fun. We talk and, listen to Groovy. And the people who join my Discord, you know who you are. You are all great, and you are all amazing. And yes, not saying that all of you aren't amazing, the people watching this, but those guys are real MVPs because I've chatted with them, and they're really cool and amazing. Also, thank you so much for the fan art. I got it, and it's so amazing, and I love it. And my sleepy mush brain is talking right now, not, the articulated mind. So if I'm not making any sense and rambling, that's why. But thank you for the fan art. It's so good, and I love it. Thank you. What else was I gonna say? Thank you for two of my friends who've been really supporting my videos. Actually, no, 3 friends have been really supporting my videos. Thank you so much. No, 4 friends. Honestly, I don't know how many, but you guys, you know who you are. Please like, comment, and subscribe, because that's how I know you guys like my content. And thank you so much for 160 subscribers. I don't know how this happened, but thank you. Thank you. Being genuine as I can right now, because I'm really tired and I want to go to sleep. Yeah. Join my Discord, because we have fun there. I think that's all I wanted to say. Pretty sure that's it. With all that said, don't forget I'm the Lady Otaku, and have a wonderful night. Bye.